Okay, well, I'm back, and obviously I missed making a video yesterday, just because I was with my parents all day long, and I was never alone any time. But as the title of the video will kind of give away what happened, um, I ended up deciding to come out to my mom. Uh, Part of the reason why I did it was the whole complicated mess of the personal sort of stuff that I haven't been able to talk about on here, and I still can't talk about that. But through part of that, I had to talk to someone who didn't know me at all, and they were asking me a lot of questions about myself. And one of the things that I said about myself was that I am an honest person, and they could tell there was something that kind of bugged me about that. And obviously, that was because it's hard to say that you're an honest person when you're not telling your parents the truth about who you are. And that really was bugging me for the last like week or so, a little bit longer than the week or so, but like really bad since sort of like Wednesday. So I kind of thought about it on the drive home to my parents' house from where I live, and like kind of thought about like if I had a chance to do it, then I was going to. And the day before Easter, my mom was working on making flower arrangements for Easter for that night or for the next morning because we have a huge breakfast thing. And my dad was in the living room watching TV, and me and my mom were in the kitchen, which is like on the other end of the house. And they have a TV in their kitchen, so like with both TVs on the opposite rooms, the opposite end of the house, they couldn't hear what was going on in the other room. And so I, sorry, kind of was just sitting in there with her, and they had a couple of beers that I like in the refrigerator, and so I kind of chugged a bunch of them, and kind of by the fourth one, she was finishing up the flower arrangements, and so I just kind of started talking, and I told her about all the stuff that had, with the stuff that had been happening, because obviously my mom knows all about it, and with all the stuff that had been happening, I told her about how I felt about claiming I was an honest person, and I told her there was stuff that I wasn't honest with her about, and I couldn't say it, like I just couldn't get the words out, and I had the bottle cap from the beer, and I was just playing with it, and I tried a bunch of times, and I asked her, I was like, do you have any idea what I'm trying to say? And she's like, no, I don't. And so I would play with the beer cap a little bit more, and I would really try to say it, and I like take a deep breath, and I go to get the words out, and they just couldn't come out. But I got so close to actually like saying it, and I looked up at her face, and then I couldn't say it. So then I did the whole play with the beer cap again, just because I was trying to get myself together enough to be able to say something to her. And so finally, she just asked. She said, "Does it have anything to do with you never having a girlfriend?" And so I just kind of nodded. And she said, "Okay." And then she said, "Are you gay?" And I just nodded, and she was like, "Okay." And I think she said something about like, "Well, if that's what you," so about like if that's what you choose, and that's who you are. And I was just like, "Well, I didn't choose it. It's just who I am." And she's like, "Okay, well then she's like, that's okay with me." And and I asked her like, "Are you mad?" And she was like, "No." And we kind of talked a little bit about it, and she asked if um like Mike was my boyfriend, and I told her yes. And it was really weird because it was almost like there was no like shocked like oh my god or any kind of like is there a way you can change or are you sure or anything like that. She just was like okay. It felt almost like I dyed my hair blonde like a year ago and like never talked about it. And I was like, oh, so now we're gonna talk about it, and it was weird. It was very weird, and I told her obviously that my room at my house isn't my room, and that my room is actually the same room that Mike's room is, because we have more bedrooms than we need, and so obviously we just kind of kept the doors closed and told her, well, that one's my room and that one's his room. Um, and she couldn't believe that we've been dating for almost 5 years, which was kind of cool to like have my mom know that. Uh, so yeah, I did that, and she asked me if I was gonna tell my dad, and I was like, well, yeah, but I don't know how. And she told me, she said, you want me to tell him for you? And I don't really want that, but she was like, you went through enough stress trying to tell me. She's like, I think it might be better just for you to let me tell him. And she told me she hasn't shared her suspicions with him because, she kind of was thinking for a while that I could be. And that might be why it wasn't a shock, because she kind of had that buffer time to think about it and kind of be okay with it. But she said she didn't share her suspicions with my dad, so I really kind of have no idea if he knows or if he thinks. And my dad is really, really hard to read. He is a very lighthearted, joking kind of person, and he very sarcastic for a lot of stuff. And I think his natural defense is to kind of play dumb about a lot of stuff so he doesn't have to deal with the whole conversation thing. And I know that we've had a couple of serious conversations that didn't go well. Like, I know when I was a lot younger, I kind of had a question about like puberty sort of thing, and I asked him about it, and he kind of was like, "What? Well, that's normal." And no, then kind of was like, made me feel kind of dumb for asking. So it kind of makes me worried about talking to him about it. So I guess he gets out of work in a little while, and I'll be alone with him. But I'm not sure that after him working all morning, if he's going to be in any kind of mood to be able to talk to me, or especially about something like that, or if he's going to be like, um, come home and want to go to bed and take a nap. But I'm going to lunch with my mom, and that's going to be a little while. And I'm getting an oil change from her work, because she works at a car dealer. So I think that's probably going to be all for this update. My mom said that if she told him, she would wait until after I left. So I don't know if she was meaning like tonight or sometime later in the week. So I will keep you updated about that. And I hope to be making videos every day again for a while at least. Depending on, I guess, if I have stuff to talk about. Um, so, for all of you who are religious or non-religious but still enjoy Easter, happy Easter. I hope everyone had a good one. And I am going to finish getting ready so that I can go up to lunch with my mom and not be caught talking to my computer when my dad comes home. So, goodbye.